Trump said he will lower the combined tariff rate on China from 54% to 47%. The two leaders spoke about Ukraine, and the U.S. president said they would both work together to see if they could get something done. Trump says he will visit China in April, while Xi says he will make a trip to the U.S. in the future. Joining me now in Montreal is Guy Saint-Jacques, former Canadian ambassador to China. Thanks for being with me today, Guy.
Thank you for the invitation.
I think what everybody's wondering is, how did Xi Jinping figure out how to lower tariffs to the United States when Canada has yet been unsuccessful in doing so?
Well, the answer is that Xi Jinping has better cards in his hands than we have. And in fact, China has almost a monopoly on critical mineral, on rare earths and magnets. And so he knew that he could extract major concessions from the U.S. But I would say, I was expecting a bit more than that. In my view, it's still a very limited agreement, and it's a one-year agreement, and who knows could happen in the next few months.
Meantime, Carney is set to meet with President Xi tomorrow. What are you expecting out of that meeting?
Well, I think it's a very important and very timely meeting, because that will set the tone for what I would call a recalibration of the relationship with China. When Minister Anand was in Beijing about 10 days ago, she talked of a strategic partnership. But I think the goal is to try to separate discussions on trade from discussions on sensitive issues related to interference, espionage, or human rights in China. And I think what we will hear after the meeting tomorrow is that the two sides have agreed to continue with discussions to try to resolve problems in the relationship. And here I refer specifically to the tariffs imposed by Canada on electric vehicles and the tariffs imposed by China on canola. The Joint Economic and Trade Commission met in late August, launched a process for discussion, and I suspect that now these discussions will move at a faster pace. We know that the Canadian Minister of Agriculture is supposed to travel to China, the same for the Minister of International Trade, and that would be a good opportunity to try to make progress on this question of tariffs.
What would that look like, progress?
Well, I think that, Mr. Carney probably feels a sense of urgency because of the way that the talks with the United States have unraveled. He knows that there's a lot coming at us in the near future with the renewal of the free trade agreement, the CUSMA. He knows that Donald Trump will ask for lots of concessions that probably we won't be able to meet, and that could mean that the United States decide to pull out of the free trade agreement, at which stage then the protection that this offered for about 85% of our exports to the U.S. will disappear, and this increased the urgency to find other markets. And of course, the trip of Mr. Carney in Asia had exactly this purpose. He met with leaders at in Malaysia. We are negotiating a free trade agreement with these countries. He was in Singapore, an important financial and trade center. And so I think that the atmosphere tomorrow with Xi Jinping will be good. Xi Jinping appreciates Mr. Carney. He is perceived as someone with strong competencies, a good reputation, a serious person. Of course, we won't come back to a full relationship because of all what we have known about Chinese interference in Canada. But I think on those subjects, the Prime Minister will be very firm with Xi Jinping.
All right. Thank you so much for this, Guy. Guy Saint-Jacques, former Canadian ambassador to China, joining us from Montreal.
Thank you.